Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today we're up to episode number 48, and we're going to be taking a look at one of Russell Brunson's older books, or it's almost like a magazine, called The Three Core Funnels and How They Work Together. This would have been released, I'm guessing, about 2016, or give or take a year. Around that time frame anyway. It's a little bit old, but of course the actual principles that he reveals in here is still cutting edge and very relevant. So just to summarize it, the most interesting thing that I actually found out about this book is that it reveals 95% of his revenue comes from just three basic funnels. And also it sort of goes into detail how by following basic fundamentals, you can succeed by using a combination of these three funnels together as well. So these three funnels tie in perfectly with the concept of the value ladder that Russell talks about in .com Secrets, which really is super important. And if you haven't read that book yet, then what are you waiting for? You've got to read it. It's just an amazing book. And once you understand that, the whole concept of funnels will start to become clear as to why they're so important. So anyway, to keep things simple, he refers to a value ladder that has three steps in this book. Okay, so one for cold traffic, one for warm traffic, and one for hot traffic. So if I just find the actual page with it's got the diagram on it. So you can see there that the bottom step of the ladder is for a funnel called the tripwire funnel, and then the second step is a webinar funnel, and then the third step is the high ticket funnel. And basically each step ascends people from cold traffic to warm traffic to hot traffic. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. So you're basically sending them through a path. Because obviously there's no point trying to sell your most expensive products or your top of the range products to customers or to prospects that have hardly even heard of you because you haven't built the trust or the value yet. Okay, so let's take a dive into these three funnels and how they work like magic together by using what Russell calls stacking or funnel stacking. So the first funnel is the tripwire funnel. That name was originally invented by a guy called Perry Belcher many years ago, and it's sort of stuck. And pretty much this is for selling products between, say, $7 and maybe at the top end, $300. But usually, most of the tripwire funnels that I've seen, the price is at least less than $100, and more often than not, it's less than $50. Okay. But with the tripwire funnel, the most important part of that funnel is the average cart value. So what you want to be doing here is, at the very least, you want to be breaking even or hopefully making a profit. And that's why funnels are so important, because if you're just selling one product on the front end, then it's very difficult to actually make a profit. But if you're selling a product on the front end and then also an order bump and then a couple of upsells, then that's when you can actually convert it from being a losing situation into a winning situation where you're actually making money. Okay, and the most common types of funnels that Russell and many other people like to use for a tripwire funnel is something like a free book plus shipping. The beauty of that is that you can still actually say that it's a free offer, but because they're paying for the shipping, then they're still having to whip out their wallet and actually spend some money. So they're still a buyer. And obviously, once they whip out their wallet and start spending money, then, they can also keep buying more with the order bumps and the one-time offers as well. So, even if you're selling a $7 product up front, say if you tack on an order bump onto that, and then, I don't know, maybe an upsell at $97 and then maybe another upsell at $197, obviously only a percentage of people will take those special offers, but some people will accept them, you know, as long as they're good offers. And that's where you can really start to actually make money on the front end. So instead of having to pay money to acquire customers, you actually make money. All right, so if I just quickly run through the book here. So this is basically the tripwire funnel here that Russell is referring to. So you have a free product on the front end there, and then you charge them for the shipping, and then you have an order bump, and then as you can see, he's got two, if you're watching the video, as you can see, he's got two upsells. He's also actually got a downsell there, and then they end up on the thank you page. So in this book, they're actually talking about the .com secrets funnel. And so after we look at the first page, which includes the order bump, in this particular example, they were making $18.31 average cart value. All right, and then if you add on top of that the first one-time offer, then that increases the average cart value up to $27.39. And then with another OTO, it then increases the average cart value up to $32.10. So basically, for every book that he's selling here, he's making $32.10, which means that he can spend up to $32 to acquire a customer, which, you know, it just really puts gasoline on the fire as far as bringing in new people and then introducing them or trying to ascend them up the value ladder. Okay, so that's basically the idea of a tripwire funnel, where it's totally targeted at a cold audience that have either never heard of you or have hardly heard of you, and you want to really build up the value on that first purchase. So he's got a couple of excellent examples in here of products for a tripwire. The first one is an offer for cufflinks, where you get free cufflinks. I imagine you would just pay the shipping for that. For the right target audience, those cufflinks would be very popular. And then there's another one here for a credit card knife for free as well. So that's probably more for the survivalist sort of niche, where, you know, that's the perfect front end offer to get people interested immediately, and then just charge them for shipping. And then you can also add those OTOs and the order bump on top of that as well to actually make money on the front end. So that then leads us into the second funnel, which is a webinar funnel. And usually these products are priced between, say, $300 and at the top end, $3,000. So you can actually send cold traffic to a webinar funnel and skip the tripwire step. However, you know, when you're selling the tripwire on the front end, that's a great way to build value, and you would get a lot more people to come through before you actually introduce them then in the follow-up sequences to the next funnel, which is basically the funnel stacking. So they've gone through one funnel, and then you're going to introduce them to the next funnel, which in this particular case is a webinar funnel. Okay, so he's got in here the example of the perfect webinar funnel, basically where he's sending traffic on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the actual webinar, the live webinar, runs on the Thursday, and then on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that is when he tries to get people that haven't watched it to watch the replay, and then introduces a bit of scarcity towards the weekend, and then it all starts again on the Monday. So basically his idea here is that rather than just starting off with an automated webinar, which from experience, a lot of people, they're not real keen on doing a webinar each week, a live webinar each week. However, that is definitely what he recommends. And the reason why is because the more you do the webinar, the better you get at it, and the more you get to understand your target audience as well. So the feedback that you get, in the comments and also replies to emails, you can start refining the webinar, you can start improving it, you can start understanding the audience better. And the more you do it, the better you get, basically. And if you keep doing it over and over again, and you've got a good offer and a hungry market of people that want to buy what you're selling, then it's basically the $1 million a year formula. So, but you just got to keep doing it. And then once you're confident that you've got it perfect, once you've done it at least for a year, then you can use the perfect recorded version of it in an auto webinar, and then just drive traffic to that on autopilot, and then just keep raking in the dollars. So that's a really good idea, the webinar funnel. So one thing with the webinar registration page that he talks about is that it's important to use as much curiosity as possible on the landing page. Because if people think that, they already know what's going to be in the webinar and it's not really that exciting, then it's going to really hurt your conversions and you won't get as many people opting in. So the actual perfect webinar, without going into too much detail, the actual webinar itself, the presentation, that's split into 5 separate parts. So the first part is where you're introducing yourself, and your background, and why you got into what you're talking about in the first place. Then you have 3 secrets which are designed to break and rebuild false belief patterns that your target market have about about a certain product or a certain target market. And then in the last section, that's where the selling comes in, where what he calls the stack, where you're running through slides that you have the main product that you're offering, and then you'll have all of these extra bonuses as well. And the idea is just to keep repeating over and over. So the first slide will have the main product on it, and then the second slide will have the main product and the bonus. The third slide will have the main product and the 2 bonuses, and then so on and so forth. So you just keep seeing the value added on each slide. And then by the end of it, you can actually see the whole package put together of everything that you're offering them. So that is an awesome formula for a webinar. So that's the a quick run through of the webinar funnel. And then the third funnel that he's got here is the high ticket funnel. Now, this could be anything from, $3,000 plus. And pretty much this is where you're asking people to apply to work with you. And, they might be paying $5,000 or something to be part of a secret mastermind or one-on-one coaching or something like that. So I'll just fast forward here to the high ticket webinar. So that's the basic. There's 3 steps to the webinar. 3 steps to the high ticket funnel, So the first one would be a third-party result or a case study. So that's where you have somebody else talking about you rather than you talking about yourself. So it's a bit of a testimonial case study sort of thing where somebody else is talking about results that you've helped them achieve. This is absolutely excellent for social proof, because obviously if somebody else is talking you up, then that's a lot more convincing than you talking yourself up. So they click on the apply button. That then takes them to the actual application page, where what he's called here is a desire amplifier. So you'll have some copy on there to get them even more excited and to motivate them to complete filling out the application. Then they hit the apply button and they actually send in their application to work with you or to purchase whatever you're selling. And then it ends on a thank you page, which he's basically calling homework and connection. So that's where you're asking them to actually do something. and you've got a video on there, which sort of talks about your overall mission, and how you're looking forward to helping them to achieve the result that you've promised. So that works really well as well, because then you actually get people wanting to work with you, rather than the other way around, and you can get somebody to call them on the phone and then actually close them on the phone, because obviously if you're selling something for $5,000 or more or whatever, not many people are going to just whip out their credit card and actually spend that much money on a website or on a page online. You actually need somebody on the phone to chat with them and to basically close them ethically into parting with the money and joining your program. And the whole point that he's making here is that when you use a combination of these funnels together, so first of all, the tripwire to cold traffic, and then the webinar funnel to warm traffic, and then the application funnel or the high ticket funnel to the really warm hot traffic. Just the combination of the three, it's making 95% of his revenue. So, it's just really powerful. And this is the whole concept of funnel stacking. So rather than just sending people through one funnel and then, that's the end of it, you're always looking to ascend them from one level to the next level to the next level. And you're not expecting everybody to go through each level, but the people that are really interested, the hot traffic will end up, the really good customers will end up purchasing everything that you're offering for them, and it just works really well. So that's pretty much all I've got for today. Hopefully you've got some value out of that, and I'll catch up with you on the next episode of Funnel Fella Radio. Bye for now.